Hey, yo, how's it going, WBE fans? My name is SixftHax, and I have for y'all today the very first team builder for the Durham Druddigons of this season. We are taking on one of my very good friends, Mr. Mewtwo Fan Nate. His channel link and stuff will be down in the description for you guys to go ahead and check out. Also, in the description is going to be a link where you guys can cop your own Durham Druddigon merchandise. Now, I do apologize that the team logo is my old team logo, unfortunately due to some legal reasons that will hopefully be sorted out before the end of the season. I'm forced to use the old logo on the shirts, and hopefully I'll be able to use the new logo eventually some way down the line for this season. And when that does happen, I'll make sure to let you know immediately. So yeah, if you guys want to support me or support one of your other favorite content creators, then go cop a shirt. Also, let me know in the comment section below, what team or teams are you rooting for this season of the WBE? It is okay if you're not rooting for me. If you're rooting for one of the other coaches, then let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, I want to give two last quick shouts out to the Flying Bird and Aaron2420 for allowing me to use these awesome new graphics for this season of the WBE. These do take a little bit of time to do, but I thought it was a kind of good new aesthetic to bring to the team builders for this season of the WBE. For those of you who have been with me for a while now, you will know that I don't do anything fancy like this. So if you guys do enjoy this, then make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. It helps out the channel and it shows me that you guys do like this. So with that being said, let's take a look at our matchup here. So looking at our opponent's team, the New York Noibats, the scariest aspect of Nate's team, in my opinion, is the fact that his offense can kind of just absolutely destroy me if they're allowed to set up. For example, Sword Zance or Nasty Plot Lucario is absolutely terrifying in this game. Nasty Plot makes a lot of sense. That was what my front office was also mainly thinking that he would want to bring, and I will leave a link to my front office homies down in the description. Huge thanks to them for helping me for this week one and hopefully for the remainder of the season so we can win that championship belt. But Lucario, regardless of the setup, is very scary. Thunderous, if it is Nasty Plot Z move, which I definitely think he is going to be, if it Nasty Plots for free, it basically just murders me. Now, another issue with Thunderous is that my Megalopunny is the only mon that I have, unless I bring a Scarfer that is able to deal with it. So Megalopunny is going to be very valuable in this matchup, just to be able to hopefully deal with his offense, because with him having Chestnut, Sylveon, and Mega Steelix, while I can 2-hit KO two-thirds of those, Chestnut is so disgustingly fat that it doesn't even need to run anywhere near max defense in order to ensure that I'm not able to touch it. And if he does want to bring Chestnut, I'm expecting it to either be mixed with Yachi Berry or be Rocky Helmet Spiky Shield in order to try and punish fake outs from my Lopunny and just chip me down in general with the Spiky Shield and the Rocky Helmet. So very, very worried about a super fat Chestnut coming to this game. Defensive Sylveon and a defensive Megalix also make a lot of sense, although Mega Steelix is really, really bulky, so it could potentially be more of a tank set with Spadef and attack investment. So long as Megalix is not like adamant max attack, I don't think I should be entirely too worried about it. And then as for his last five mons, Hydreigon, also just very, very terrifying. Hydreigon is not like Lucario and Thunderous, where it's scary if it sets up. It's terrifying just right off of the bat. I definitely expect it to be Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. I think both of those sets are absolutely amazing in this game, so need to be very careful with that. And then Delphox and Swellow, I don't think both of those come to this game, and one or the other potentially, but Swellow is so frail and Megalopunny is known for running priority, so it could potentially not come. We also have dual Steel types and a Rock type, and then Delphox I think just doesn't have the best matchup due to Alolan Muck being on our squad. And then Simipour and Cloyster, I don't think he brings both or either one of them, honestly, because we don't have a fire type, and I don't think they necessarily do entirely too much against us. I guess Shell Smash Cloyster or Nasty Plot Simipour could be a little bit annoying, but that's where our Megalopunny just comes in so handy. It's able to pressure his offense, and if we're able to get up hazards or just chip him down in general, I'm not really too concerned about those certain setup sweepers. I'm more concerned about Lucario setting up because it has priority, and I'm more worried about Thunderous because it could be sub Nasty Plot, and then if he is behind a sub, then that could go very, very badly for us. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our first team member here. And of course, it is going to be Megalopunny. I said the Megalopunny is very valuable in this game to mostly just deal with this offense. The nice thing about Megalopunny in this match is that I can easily just run an Adamant Nature on it and be able to deal as much damage as possible. We do get outsped by, I guess, Timid Max Speed Swallow, but realistically, if he were to bring Swallow, there's not much merit for it to be running max speed, so we are just running enough speed to outspeed the Thunderous, which is all I think that we really need. Return plus low kick hits absolutely everything and anything, and if it's not named Chestnut, return and low kick, I think to a KO basically the entirety of his team, and then from there with fake out and quick attack we're able to deal with his offense that is hopefully not set up, and even if it is, I think at full HP we could potentially tank a +2 Life Orb E speed. But regardless, Lopunny is able to check his offense, and that's the main reason that I really want it here for. It's going to be our main hard hitter going into this game essentially. So moving on down the line, we have Ryu Nikolas aka Bailey. Now the great thing about Ryu Nikolas plus Megalopunny in this matchup is that whatever Megalopunny doesn't necessarily want to deal with, Ryu Nikolas can deal with, and whatever Ryu Nikolas doesn't want to deal with, Megalopunny can deal with. So together in this matchup, they are an absolutely amazing pair, and this set was specifically made by one of my front office homies, Mr. Marin Varen. The idea behind this set is that thanks to our physical defense investment, we are able to tank a +2 Meteor Mash from Lucario, if I'm not mistaken, which is insane, and then in return either knock him out with Focus Blast or go for Z Focus Blast to ensure that we don't have to risk the miss. And then with a Calm Nature and 60 Spadef EVs, we are able to tank non-specs Dark Pulses from Hydreigon if we get up a Calm Mind. For example, if we get up one Calm Mind, if he's a Scarf Hydreigon, he should never 2-hit KO us unless he flinches us, and even if he's modest Scarf, it's only about a 12% chance to 2-hit KO us, so obviously the roll is in our favor. So the idea is to hopefully get rid of Hydreigon so Ryu Nikolas can win, or if we're able to get rid of Steelix, then our next setup sweeper can potentially end up winning, and that's where Ryu Nikolas's Fightinium Z also really comes in handy, because if we need to, we can instant nuke Steelix, and just even regular Focus Blast still does a lot of damage to Mega Steelix. So what I'm hoping in this matchup is that I don't need to Focus Blast more than twice, I want to say, because my thought is that I'm most likely popping my Fightinium Z on Hydreigon, and then from there I can still deal with Lucario. Like Psychic is still a straight 2-hit KO, and if I can prevent Lucario from setting up entirely too much, then I'll be in a good spot. And then of course regular Focus Blast still does a really good chunk of damage to Mega Steelix. But if this does start getting set up once Thunderous is gone, then I think it's basically good game. So there's a chance here that Ryu Nikolas could put in a lot of work. And speaking of our next setup sweeper here, we have Curse Alolan Muck. Again, if we do get rid of Mega Steelix, this comes in, I Curse up once or twice, and there's no way he should be able to beat me down. And I don't think he actually has any Pokemon that learn Knockoff, right? I think Simipour learns Knockoff. I want to say Simipour learns Knockoff, but again, it's very iffy on whether or not he even brings one of his water types, so I'm not too concerned about that. So besides that, if Alolan Muck comes in, I'm able to Curse up once the Mega Steelix is gone, then I think I do just win. But if Mega Steelix is still around, I need to Curse up twice, because at +2 defense, because of our defense investment, there is no way that a non-Curse, non-Roar Mega Steelix should be able to beat Alolan Muck 1v1, and then from there, I can start cursing up even more to ensure that Earthquakes are doing even less damage to us, and then from there Alolan Muck should be able to sweep. So hopefully Ryu Nikolas or Alolan Muck can come in here, set up, and sweep. That is kind of the game plan, I want to say. So Poison Jab plus Fire Punch hits absolutely everything for neutral or super effective damage. I thought about maybe putting Gunk Shot over Poison Jab, but I don't want to have Focus Blast and Gunk Shot, so I wanted to go with the more reliable damage in Poison Jab. Plus it is still a 30% chance to poison with it, which is always pretty good and could be spammable if I do get rid of the Steelix and the Lucario. Plus with our Spadef investment, this allows us to help check Special Thundurus, Hydreigon, Special Lucario, Special Simipour, Swellow, Delphox, and Special Cloysters. So yeah, the defense investment I think was specifically so we could take 2 Specs Draco Meteors, guaranteed always from Hydreigon after rocks, and then we just put the rest in defense and HP to take physical hits. So moving on to our next team member, we have Silvally Fairy, aka Jericho here, and this basically functions as our means of trying to let Muck and Ryu Nikolas be able to set up because of Parting Shot. We are running a very fast Silvally this time around for week number 1, because I want to ensure that I outspeed Lucario. Like, a part of me really thinks he's not going to bring Bullet Punch on Lucario, which means I will always guarantee outspeeding him even if he is Jolly or Timid max speed, and then from there Flamethrower does over 50%, or I can Parting Shot, put him at -1 physical and special attack, so even if he does go for a Swords Dance or a Nasty Plot, he's only at +1 instead of +2, and then from there Ryu Nikolas and Alolan Muck are still able to easily tank a hit from it and in return finish it off. So that was kind of the idea behind this set. So obviously this does not necessarily do anything to Simipour or Cloyster. I guess we can Toxic them, but obviously the fear is that maybe they have sub, so I'll have to be very careful with that. But I really did not want to go with a third offensive move on Silvally, because realistically, if you look at his team, his best switch-ins to my Silvally are going to be Delphox, Sylveon, and Mega Steelix. Mega Steelix we are able to hit with Flamethrower. It only does about 30-ish%, but again, the sooner I get rid of Mega Steelix, the better it is for my Alolan Muck. And then Ice Beam hits Chestnut along with Flamethrower, but most importantly, Toxic is able to catch all 3 of those on a switch-in. And if I'm able to get rid of Sylveon and Chestnut, then that just means my Megalopunny can come in and with priority in its speed, just win us the battle essentially. So that was kind of the idea behind mainly having Toxic and hopefully not being destroyed by setup Simipour and setup Cloyster. So while I can't touch them, I can at least still Parting Shot them or Toxic them, so that's still better than nothing in my opinion. And then our defensive investment is just so we can take like 1 or 2% less from Hydreigon. Like, even though Hydreigon is very scary in this matchup, I definitely feel like it has 4 move slot syndrome. He wants to have Dark Stab. I feel like he would definitely want to have U-Turn. Draco Meteor is very spammable if I do lose my Silvally, so his last move could be Flash Cannon, Fire Blast, or Earth Power is what I'm thinking. So if he doesn't have Flash Cannon for some reason, then Silvally here should be able to check it accordingly, being able to get off a good amount of damage with Ice Beam and hopefully gaining us momentum with Parting Shot into our setup to come in and just ruin Nate's life. So yeah, there's a few things that Silvally can do in this matchup, and I'm hoping that it will be able to show its worth here. And why it was a tier 3, I still don't think this is worth a tier 3, but hopefully it shows its worth here. So moving on to our second to last team member, we have Kali, aka Steelix, rocking a nice tankish set because of Steelix's base 200 defense. There's really no reason that I need to run any physical defense, I think, because if he is a physically offensive Lucario, as long as I'm about over 50 or 60% depending on what item he's running, I can always tank a close combat, and even if it's boosted, I could potentially tank one as well, and then Earthquake in return knocks out Lucario. The way I made this team, I don't want Lucario just to freely set up, and so far nothing should allow it to freely set up, and that was the main reason why I went with Choppa Berry on Steelix, is because of how terrifying Lucario could be if it does set up, because I did originally want to go with an Occa Berry in case I wanted to have some type of backup check to the Hydreigon. But the more I thought about it, the more Chople Berry is actually pretty good, because this also means that if he has like Fightinium Z Thundurus, I will be able to easily tank a Z Focus Blast or just a regular Focus Blast, and then get off some damage with Heavy Slam, maybe get up my rocks, or I guess Toxic him for whatever reason. But more than likely I'll be Heavy Slamming it, Toxicing it, or getting up rocks if I've already got off enough initial damage to put it in range of where I can revenge kill him with my Megalopunny. So Steelix is just really here to hopefully get up rocks and try to weaken his offense, and hopefully Toxic Sylveon and the Chestnut. So much like on Silvally, the Toxic is really here for what he could potentially switch into my Steelix, which is only really his Chestnut. Although I guess he could try to be cheeky if we were to bring like a Roost Hydreigon, but I don't expect that. I feel like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf Hydreigon is just so good this match. So if he were to switch those in, I can talk to them on the switch in, and chip damage on those is also going to be really good for us in this game. So moving on to our final team member, we have Okada, aka Manaphy, making his debut for the WBE under our team name. Now I guess it is a little bit odd that I don't have Dragonite in this matchup, and maybe some of you guys will comment about that, but I really felt like Manaphy had a better matchup than one of my other offensive mons like Durhan or Dragonite, mainly for the fact that this can act as a pretty good lure for the Thundurus. With this HP and defense investment, there is no way that a non-modest Z Electric Thundurus should ever knock us out after Stealth Rocks. So we can come in, take the 12% from rocks, and then even if he brings in Thundurus against me and he feels like he can threaten me, I can still stay in, tank the Electric Z, and get off damage with Ice Beam. While Ice Beam may not knock him out, it still does enough damage to the point where I can just bring in Lopunny to revenge him. Ice Beam is also really good for the Hydreigon if it is Specs. I am running enough speed to outspeed it. If it's Scarfed, it shouldn't be able to do entirely too much damage to us. And because Nate's team is so specially offensively orientated, Light Screen as our final move, in my opinion, made a lot of sense, because if I'm not able to break with Manaphy, or if I'm not able to revenge kill something with Manaphy, I can still get up Light Screen to support the rest of my team, and that in itself could also help Muck or Ryu Nikolas try to set up in order for us to win, or it could help Silvally and Steelix tank a hit on the special side and just get off damage or KO something in return. Surf plus Ice Beam at +3, 2 KOs or OKOs pretty much the entirety of Nate's draft, unless he brings a very specially defensive Sylveon. But I'm expecting more of a physically defensive one, mostly for our Dragonite. If he were to bring Sylveon, I'd assume it's probably just physically defensive normal fat Sylveon, with potentially the Steel Weakening Berry for Dragonite, because I think Dragonite does learn Iron Head and Iron Tail. It could also help him for Steelix potentially, or Durant as well. So yeah, definitely expect just a normal physical defensive Sylveon, which means again at +3 everything is 2 KO'd or OKO'd, which means we don't really need to have coverage to try and hit Cloyster or Simipour for super effective damage. So yeah, hoping that Manaphy can either set up and break, or come in and lure the Thundurus so we can get rid of one scary setup threat. So yeah guys, that is going to be our squad for week number 1 of the WBE. Again, let me know what team or teams you are rooting for this season, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below if you like the graphics for the team builder. Your support is greatly appreciated, and it does help out the channel. So with that being said, I'll see you all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion, but when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears of hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.